Start recording. Okay. So, for those of you who don't know, before we started the stream, about, what, 3 p.m? 2 p.m? Aki, the AIM support for Mind Freak, who were the second place grand finalists at the recent MEO Australian Contenders finalists, Australian Contenders Season 2 grand finale, was streaming today. And I thought it'd be a jovial fun just to watch him and poke fun at him and yada yada yada. And I do this occasional thing where I try to write a copy pasta. And in fact, it is the entirety of this first section was that copy pasta. And I just wanted to see how they would react to it. Now, it went slightly beyond, and you'll see that because I wrote all this then. And pretty much, the reason I did that was because I jokingly said, oh, it's part of the fanfic that I'm writing. Aki, thinking it was actually a fanfic I was writing, said, oh, sweet, cool. And I realized, oh, fuck, I probably now have to do it now, don't I? So, apologies to me picking Untyyy, by the way, and for me picking Aki. Untyyy is the main support for Order, the finalists. I just figured that they were so compatible with each other, to say the least. So, let's get down to it. This isn't relatively long. It's about, what, 5,000, 6,000 characters long, I think. Ultimately, is what it ended up being. But I'm keen. So, let's get down to it. Title: A Forbidden Love Story Between Aki and Untyyy. Or as I like to call him in this, Isaac and Max. Scene start. As the Mind Freak squad rolled out onto the main stage of Rod Laver Arena, they were met with stares from the opposition, Order. While normally mortal enemies, the AIM support for Mind Freak, commonly known as Aki, however, he will be referred to as Isaac Berry for now, his real name. Couldn't help but shake this feeling in the pit of his heart. Unbeknownst to him, it was love at first sight. However, he'd never been able to fully acknowledge it. Isaac thought he'd seen... Fuck, I really don't know how to actually say Untyyy's last name. I'm gonna give it my best shot. I'm sorry, Untyyy. Isaac thought he'd seen Max Untyyy Warzaka, main support for Order, eye him up as he walked out, while walking out. But that couldn't have been true. Right? Scene end. Scene start. So this is the very start of Nepal. The very, very start of Nepal. The first map had begun. The cheers from the crowd of 5,000 roused Isaac into a fit of enthusiasm, motivating not only himself but the rest of Mind Freak. Their names were known throughout the arena. Elliot Addy Dunn, Samuel Swilko Wilkinson, Christopher August Norgrove, Marcus Kiki Jacob, and of course, the legendary Oast GM streamer, as seen from such clips as this, Joshua Bustle. Alright, do you guys actually want to see the clip? Because this is one that I saw off Slipstream, and this is actually a VOD, from a VOD that Bus deleted because it was a very bad day for him. Actually, I'll let you guys watch that in your own time. I won't go over it, because it's a pretty entertaining one. Go to my Twitter if you want to see it. And apologies to Bus as well for posting that clip, but it just happened to be really funny, and I think it fit in pretty good. Regardless of how his teammates felt at the time, Isaac knew that his moment to prove it all. Oh, this was his moment to prove it all. His feelings would be noticed by the Order squad. Their names, also legends and quintessential to the Australian contenders scene, roared an expression of peak Overwatch masculinity. Adam Sung, Max Untyyy Warzaka, James Yuki Stanton, Sam Quats Dennis, Dale Sign Tang, and finally, the esports fanatic, 100-pound Chadston himself, Geordie Jordation Frisch. While Max was the main prey for Isaac, he wasn't the only one with a goal in his heart. He'd known that each teammate of his was longing to prove something. This step to take the stage and win it all was merely that. A step. Their main objective was to prove themselves as equals to Order and win over their admiration, which they'd likewise held. By the end of the first round, Isaac had found himself already flabbergasted at the raw intensity which Order was emitting. They'd already been the reigning champions, and to go up against them would be ultimately fruitless. What was there to gain? I'm already fucking losing it. Me writing this part was absolute dog shit. The admiration? The attention? I need an Aki voice. Aki's kind of like shit speaking. Sorry, Aki, but this is gonna be your voice.
I didn't care about that.
Isaac thought to himself.
What was my purpose here anyway? I was predestined to live at this moment? Or had I just stolen it from another opportune soul? Was this really my desire? Why am I fighting my feelings?
I'm sorry, Aki. When all hope seemed lost so early into the series, it was a gentle reassurance of Joel McElroy, that kept him in the moment. I need Joel's voice now. Fuck. Are you gonna let them all... I'll give him Yoshiki. Are you gonna let this opportunity slip you by? This moment is yours to live. So don't you dare disappoint all those rooting for you back home, here in the arena. And those who you're fighting for. Make your fans proud. But most importantly, make yourselves proud, god damn it. McElroy always had a way with words and speeches, thought Isaac, and he himself found the calmness and zen atmosphere he'd been attempting since the walkout. Newfound determination motivated him, and he found himself inspired to make a new name for times beyond now. I'm so sorry, Joel and Aki. I'm so sorry, everyone, honestly. Scene end. And this is kind of the setup for the next scene. Despite the loss in the pool, Mindfreak held their heads high going into the dreaded Paris. A map they'd had moderate success on in the regular season. They knew that Order would be playing on their terms now, rather than vice versa. Isaac was in this to make a name for himself and win over the heart of Max. Scene start. Order had been reinvigorated by their decisive win and found themselves the favourites going into further maps. Max had always found the Mindfreak squad a quirky gang of hoodlums, but endearing nonetheless. Their first win over Mindfreak had caused the anxieties previously felt at the series start to wash away. However, he now found himself with new worries. Why had that map still felt like a loss to him? He'd normally been incredibly cheerful and energetic when dominating opponents, and to say it wasn't pleasant at the time would be a lie, but he still felt... empty? No, that wasn't the right description. He glanced over to the opposition and found them to be in high spirits. Oh god, I need an Untyyy voice now. Untyy's a pretty raw fucking Australian, so I might just give him the Naho voice. What are they grinning about? Max thought to himself. They must be a bunch of hicks to think we'd let up. If as determined by a higher deity, him and Isaac locked eyes at this exact moment. Neither could break away from each other as if bound by powerful magic that threatened their very existence. What the bloody... Max found himself getting red in the cheeks and snapped back to reality when Adam shouted... Adam shouted, "Let's fucking do this, boys! Order up!" Isaac was flushed as the map began. Surely Max saw him, right? That wasn't his imagination. He'd really locked eyes with his...
Damn it, I need to focus. I can't let my team down. I can't let down my team, I should say. Fuck.
Scene end. Paris hadn't gone as planned for Isaac and his team. Morale was at an all-time low now. Now 2 down in the grand finals. They found themselves on the streets of King's Row. It was now or never to turn it around. Editor's note. This is actually true, by the way. The desire to have the next map be from the perspective of Marcus is one required at the behest of Isaac himself, due to the hilarity which transcribed during the halfway point. For those of you who don't know what this hilarity, also, fuck me, didn't edit this at all, no full stop at the end of that. Actual dog shit. Marcus is Kiki. And Marcus did a T-pose, which I was trying to figure out how to integrate. Scene start. Marcus had been an outstanding individual, not only throughout the entire series, but the season as a whole. While previously finding limited success on Atletico, in editor's note, Mindfreak had felt like the home he'd been missing for some time now. They'd accepted him as family, and for that he was grateful. At this moment, he couldn't care more or less about winning or losing. Of course, he wanted the prior if preferable, but instead wanted everyone on his team to perform their best for themselves. He'd never cared for other teams' players, seeing them as enemy organization employees, but he'd known about the forbidden love Isaac was blinded with. I'm so sorry, Kiki. I gotta think of a voice for you now. Voice recommendation. Kiki. Hey, sisters! That's not the voice at all, but that kid is really cute when he's so naive. Marcus found himself pondering, and, with a sly grin, made himself a promise that if they finished the round... Oh, what did he promise? Find out. It was the final fight of the Mindfreak attack. They'd made it all the way to 3rd, performing more within their own expectations in comparison to previous maps. Despite the rocky continuation, they'd managed to close out the maps thanks to Joshua's supercharger. It was a really good supercharger bus. Marcus initiated his ultimate tactic, asserting dominance with a self-destruct to guarantee the win. "This one's for you, kid!" Marcus exclaimed, and instantly performed a famed T-pose. While it might have been interpreted as a joke to the general public, he meant it more like an instantaneous mating ritual. A love bond between the two people of his choosing. Marcus exclaimed, high enough for Max to hear, "I give my blessing to you two! Please make it not only me but yourselves happy in eternal love!" Marcus embraced the moment and found both Max and Isaac stare at each other intently and shyly until the next round started. Heh! Marcus chuckled lightly. How's that saying go? Love knows no bounds. I'm so sorry, it's Kiki. Scene end. Things had started to heat up in the tournament. Max and Isaac had begun to realize the feelings they'd been oppressing, and order had been stopped in their full sweep by a draw. How would things turn out in the next 2 maps? Editor's note. I seriously don't know what to say, so I'm going to skip Rialto since I just can't be fucked. That's true. I legitimately couldn't be fucked writing this. I don't think I would have finished in time if I tried to write Rialto. Scene start. Since the success they'd had on King's Row, though minor, Mindfreak had been reinvigorated. Despite this, it wasn't enough to carry them throughout Rialto, and with the series drawing ever dire, Isaac only had so much time to have Max realize and acknowledge his feelings. Max, on the other hand, still felt like something was missing. He'd seen Marcus's mating ritual, but assumed that it had been for himself and Adam, same roles, mutual respect, etc., etc., and didn't pay it any heed. Still, he couldn't deny the sorrowfulness in his heart. The pit he'd felt since locking eyes with Isaac just hadn't subsided yet. Why am I thinking about him? Max considered. It must be my nerves, right? I mean, it's not like I dislike him as a person, but I can't say we've been intimate at all. At this exact moment, he felt a smack round the back of his head from the left. Geordie had been keenly studying him and felt the need to butt in. Oh fuck, Geordie's voice. I don't want to disrespect Geordie, so let's give him a voice. What kind of voice would, I think, represent Geordie best? Let me think. Oh, we got time before the match, and I need you in top form, man. What's on your mind? I guess he's just gonna be a footy player. Footy! Max smiled. Jordy had always been kind to him. A joy from another room, huh? I'm so sorry. He couldn't help but smirk at the idea. Yeah, mate, I gotta say, something's off with me. I keep having these weird thoughts about Aki. I swear we've crossed each other's gazes too much and it's made me feel... Max paused, unable to really find the right word. It wasn't that he felt uncomfortable, but he didn't really know what else it could be. Funny, I guess. Jordy gave him a little jab into his ribcage. Footy, you feeling keen? He said, winking. What? Of course not, you fucking idiot. It's just... Been a while since I felt this... admiration. I feel like he's giving it his all, and I love... enjoy the spectacle. That's all. Jordy smiled, slapped Max on the back, shrugged, and said, Footy, you gotta do what you gotta do, mate. But do it after we win this. Before whispering, you're such an oblivious idiot, mate. Before shouting to the top of his lungs, fuck. Order up! Max couldn't help but toss aside his feelings for Elios, knowing that his mate was wishing him the best with struggles he himself didn't know existed. Scene end. The event was over. Order had won the grand finals and were the champions of Australian Contenders Season 2 for 2019. The series had been back and forth, however. Order had managed to clinch the overall playoffs due to their extensive training and experience over the fresh Mind Freak squad. I meant that as in fresh to land experience, by the way, but I just couldn't figure out a way to actually word that properly. Apologies. Scene start. Even though the event was over and the victors decided, there was still one thing Isaac had still to claim over. His declaration. Of course. He just hoped Max would understand and, while not needing to reciprocate, obviously, acknowledge his feelings at the very least. Max anxiously stood outside of Isaac's apartment. He'd been invited to celebrate his victory while also needing to listen to something important, as Isaac had put it. What the bloody hell is that kid doing? I don't think it's common for losers to congratulate the winners off stage. Shouldn't he be out drinking with the rest of his team? Oh, I'm not, since I forgot my ID. Yeah, laugh it out, you fucking dickheads. But that's beside the point. I just hope this won't be too weird. Max gave a hearty 3-tap knock on the door. And was overcome with that same feel. That was a fucking 4-tap. And was overcome with the same feeling that he'd had during the match. What the hell am I thinking? Max quietly chuckled to himself, thinking about how stupid he'd been acting today. Isaac opened the door wearing an unexpected tuxedo, combed back hair, strong cologne, and a nervous smile.
I hope you didn't have trouble finding me,
he said tactfully. Not really, mate. We're staying in the same fucking building after all. Isaac, attempting to hide his idiocy, quickly ushered Max into the apartment. It wasn't anything special. One kitchen, a single double bed. He twirled a joke from the Mind Freak management. A small bathroom. Honestly, it was as plain as could be. After settling in an idle chatter about the games today, Isaac finally managed to muster up enough courage to ask his burning question.
So, are you seeing anyone?
Max, surprised at the sudden line of questioning, obviously, responded, nah, mate. I haven't had time in between all the prep for the games during the season. Honestly, I wouldn't mind someone, but I reckon that's not a possibility right now. He stopped mid-sentence. Isaac was shyly looking down, trying to avoid Max's eyesight. Was he blushing? The atmosphere became awkward. All the feelings known and bottled up tried spilling out from Isaac at the one moment.
I
He just couldn't find the words.
I love you.
Is what he wanted to say, but he just couldn't. This was a shit joke. I changed it literally before I sent this. It was as if a Frogger was stuck in his throat. All lines of thought kept him from trying. Sorry, Frogger.
I'm such a dumbass.
He finally whispered. Max, thinking this was still about the games from today, grabbed his left shoulder with a firm grip and said, "Mate, you did great. I think you're the best. Don't even worry about whatever people say. Any of them talk smack about it, I'll smack them alright." Isaac was stunned. Tears had formed in his eyes. Max let go of him.
Hey, Max?
Max, startled at his first name being used, responded, yeah? What does it make, Isaac. Unbeknownst to Max, Isaac was internally shook. Very shook, indeed.
Thanks for, coming over today. Can we, do it again? Sometime?
Isaac, not quite begging or pleading, implored Max to say yes. It was now or never. Max, ever the charmer, slyly suggested, "How about next year? Same time. After we beat you again at finals." Isaac, grinning at this prospect, only giggled while saying,
Alright, Max. It's a date.
before leading him to the door, saying farewells, and coyly imagining for his and Max's future.
Until next year. My love.
End scene. And that's all my bullshit. I'm so sorry for that. Holy fuck. Reading that was a pretty fucking tough. I just realized how pretentious I sounded while writing that. Holy fuck. 3.5 hours well spent.